Last November, Bryan Battle fought at 170 pounds, but he missed weight. He ended up getting a gift decision in a hugging contest. 6 months after that, the UFC said, tell you what, go up to middleweight, you have another shot. And he missed that. Immediately after being cut, he announced he is fighting for Dirty Boxing the following weekend, and that timeline's a little suspicious. The gentleman is cut, immediately has a new contract, making a ton of money in a sport that's a little bit easier because you only have to worry about one thing. So the question becomes, did Bryan Battle self-sabotage and want to be cut so that he could sign a Dirty Boxing contract? My name is Angelo. This is Josh Thompson, and welcome to Bad Takes. Joshua, do you think some fighters self-sabotage to get themselves out of a deal?
Look, they would try, but they, like you brought it up before off show, was that there's really no way to self-sabotage without losing a fight or taking some damage or getting submitted or being made a fool. And then your stock goes down when that happens. Your stock goes down, but not in fighting. It just goes down in that you're not reliable. Okay, well, that's something that can be fixed. Money can normally fix that. And so if Dirty Boxing offered him a substantial amount of money, more so than he was making in the UFC, I could see where you're going with this, Angelo. I thought this was a bad take when we started it, but then as you're starting to feed into this fuel, and I'm thinking to myself, he's onto something. Because all the years that I've been involved in fighting, I have never thought about missing weight to get out of a contract.
And I'm sure you were in some contracts you wanted out of at some point.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. Yeah. There was one, I'm like, well, either like I want to fight this level of guy, or I just want to be cut and released. Like either have me fight this level of guy or I want to be out of here. Yeah. And there's been times where I'm like, man, I know they're not going to do me any favors. They don't want me to, fight that level of guy. They don't want me to advance. So how can I move forward in this organization? But I couldn't. I wanted to actually be cut and released. Bottom line is I think you're opening the door for fighters to leave and potentially come back to the UFC. They will leave, they will miss weight, get cut, and then they will venture off, make some money, and then they will come back. And when as long as they're winning, the door is always open.
For sure. And we just saw it with Jeremy Stephens, right? Jeremy Stephens fought some MMA as well, but then went to BKFC, had some success, they signed him back. So this is not my theory, right? This wasn't an original idea. This was DM'd to me on Instagram by Sean, and Sean said, hey, I wonder if he wanted to be cut. I was like, nah, dude. And do what? Like, why would he want to be cut? Literally 2 days later, he announced that he signed with Dirty Boxing. And then he was like, told you. And what is interesting, let me read you the Dirty Boxing rules.
For fans rub it in your face.
Yeah. I'm going to read the Dirty Boxing
they get
rules.
something right. The one time they get something right, they're like, see, told you. But if we went back through all the times they commented and said how fucking dumb we were and this and that, and we threw it in their face, they'd probably kill themselves. They'd be like, I was never right.
One of the most beneficial new features on YouTube as the person who owns the channel is you can tap on anybody's profile and see the last 5 comments they left. So when I get a comment that's like, told you so-and-so, I just tap on it, I look, and then I'll see like, well, last week you picked so-and-so. So looks like we're about even in the pick department here. Yeah. But let me read the Dirty Boxing rules for those of you who don't know. That's Mike Perry's boxing promotion. It's not regular boxing. They are 4-ounce gloves. So it's MMA gloves. They allow ground and pound to keep the fight dynamic and relentless, ensuring no lull in action, and they reward aggressive strategic offense. That's their rules. They have sort of a custom ring. It looks like a normal ass ring to me. They do allow elbows, and the rounds are only 3 minutes. So it is a hybrid boxing MMA world. And somebody like a Bryan Battle could quickly go over there, make a nice chunk of money, really get a couple of wins, and then go back to the UFC if he wants, or just stick around. His fight in Dirty Boxing, which is this weekend, it's like 2 weeks notice, is at 185 pounds. And that's the weight class that he missed in the scheduled UFC bout.
Is the elbows on the feet as well as the ground, or is it just on the ground?
On the feet.
On the feet. But is it on the ground as well, elbows?
It didn't get into that much detail, but I assume so. It sounds like it's MMA without grappling, like without submissions.
No submissions. Submissions are not allowed.
That's it. It said ground and pound.
I wonder if you have to be standing for the ground and pound. Like you can't go into the guard. Once you go into the guard, they start you back up.
They might. I've never seen Dirty Boxing. This is Dirty Boxing 3. So maybe I'll check this
one out. I've never seen it either.
There's no other fights, but so I don't know. I'm gonna look like a moron if I try to
Try to
say
lie.
what they might do.
Try to lie.
Yeah,
Yeah, I just wonder if
just
you
try
need
to
to be
make it up.
standing because for ground for dirty boxing, like if there's some sort of ground and pound, you would think that you would have to stay standing or create enough space, right? You can't just be in the guy's guard, body, head, like that type of stuff. And then do you stand them up after what 20 seconds or something if there's no action, or even if there is action, is there not enough damage? How do you go about it? It's very much like judo, right? You hit the throw. If you don't get the throw, you have a couple seconds to try to hit a submission once you hit the ground. Okay, once that, even if you didn't get the throw, you have a couple seconds to get the submission. And if you don't get the submission, then they stand you back up and you guys start again. I wonder if
Here's the official. It says dirty boxing ground and pound refers to striking a downed opponent with hand strikes after they've been knocked to the canvas by hand strikes. Continuing the action as long as strikes are effective and the downed fighter doesn't create a stalemate by tying up the attacker or getting back to their feet. So it sounds like they give you a little bit to work and then they'll stand you up if nothing's happened.
Got it. So it's about making space and letting, but I just wonder if you could throw elbows on the ground as well.
It specifically said hand strikes.
Oh, gotcha.
But I don't, who knows?
I guess let's get into do you believe that he possibly did this to capture more? I think it'd be, if he did leave at all, it'd be to capture more money. Be like, hey, this contract over here is for a 2-fight, 3-fight deal. And I have access to, I'm just using MMA gloves, and I have access to another $50,000 or $40,000 a fight. I'm out. I'll see you later. And what better way to do it, like you said, is miss weight twice and just have them release you.
It definitely, the missed weight against Randy Brown was definitely not on purpose. That was at 170. He's not a small guy. And he tried. You can tell he tried. Moving up to 185 pounds and then missing by 4 pounds is insane. That's insane. Yeah. He physically looked like shit. Like he all week long was just running his mouth. I'm on the undercard because Nurzulton sucks and this and that and the other thing. And then he misses weight. And then there was video of him like in the club, like hanging out, like it was no big deal. So on one hand, it definitely is wildly unprofessional. Missing weight, especially by that much in a new weight class, it's crazy. On the other hand, I don't necessarily know he wanted out of his UFC deal, because that would imply that Dirty Boxing came to him while he was in the UFC, saying, "Come over here, do a fight. We're going to give you a ton of money. You just got to figure out how to get out of your contract." I don't know if all of those things happened, but it is insanely fast how he ended up on that Dirty Boxing card. Like insanely fast.
I understand what you're saying, but I'm sure there's some sort of dialogue. There was already some sort of dialogue between the two of them in terms of if you ever decide to leave, come on over. Sure. And that fight. And then obviously, I don't think he missed the weight on purpose, but you did bring, you brought something fresh to me in my mind. Like if you are a fighter, just take this into consideration. If you really want out of your contract, just miss weight and miss it by a lot.
Yeah.
What's the point? You don't even really got to train. Just show up enough, not make weight. Then eventually they're gonna be like, all right, well. And then if the guy wants to still fight, my suggestion was you still train, because if the guy does still want to fight and you win the fight, they at least pay you.
So you well, and they could shuffle the card around and they could offer you a new opponent. And then if you say no, well, they still offered it, so your contract is extended. They met their obligation by offering you a fight, so they could just bench you at that point.
You said something that kind of cut me deep, because my boy Rumble Johnson, they told him he had to go up to 85. He went up to 85 to fight Vitor Belfort, and he missed weight.
At least he looks the part. At least he was jacked. Like Bryan Battle was soft on every part of his body. At least how Rumble made 170 is insane. But yeah, he kind of screwed Vitor there, and then Vitor made it happen anyway.
Yeah, he did make it happen. And then, then he left, went away, fought a heavyweight for a while, then came back. When he came back at 205 and he found his weight. He found where you're supposed to be. But in this situation, I don't know. Bryan Battle is I don't want to say a loose cannon, but he's the unknown. You can look at him and be like, yeah, this guy's wild. He's crazy. Like, he's going to say this, going to say that. But I don't think people look at him and go, I know what's going through his mind. You have no clue. He could have missed weight and no one would know but him. He's just like, yeah, whatever. I don't care. It's almost like as if he doesn't care whether he fights or not, because he knows that there's probably some sort of avenue where he can pick up other fights. So it's not like he's a bad fighter. He's a really good fighter. He's actually fun to watch. I enjoy watching him fight, because they're normally back and forth battles and like
Yeah, he's tough. He gets
yeah,
after it. His Randy Brown fight absolutely sucked.
yeah.
And then he missed weight. Like he doesn't have a great 8 months behind him, but the rest of his career is solid.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's a very talented fighter. He's got a bright future ahead of him if he can stay on track, if he wants to. I mean, like you said, like he missed the weight by 8 pounds or 4 pounds or whatever, and then he turns around and you see him at the club. I didn't see that, but you saw him out being about. Was he drinking?
I don't know if he was drinking, but there was photos of him circulating, just out having a good time. Club isn't a loose term, but just out him having a good time. So then people were like, "Dude, the UFC is furious.
Yeah,
Like, you missed
when
weight,
you're
didn't care."
when you're still in Vegas, they probably
Yeah.
just hide in your room.
Yeah, Chicago, but yeah,
Okay, whatever. When you're still in Chicago, it's probably just still hide in your room. Like,
yeah.
I'm not out getting deep dish, like especially after missing weight.
Well, and what is interesting is he obviously he missed weight, up weight, stuff like that. I watched his interview with Ariel Hawani, where they, Ariel was like, "Why'd you miss weight?" All these things. His excuse for missing weight was, I'm not young anymore. My body can't do the things it used to. First of all, shut up. There are fighters way older than you making weight no. Vince Pichel is 78 years old. He's never missed weight. So that's a ridiculous argument. The second piece to that is 6 months prior, you barely missed 170. Now you can't make 185. Your body didn't give up on you 20 pounds. That's because you just let yourself get way too huge and you thought you'd be able to cut way too much at the very end, assuming all of this was genuine, which I do not think he self-sabotaged there. But then he did. Ariel did a good job. You and Ariel have your own little shit going on, but Ariel did a pretty good job in that interview where Ariel was like, "Do you think you're going to be cut?" Because this is before he was cut. He was like, "I don't know. They can cut me. If they do, I understand. So, maybe," which was a weird response because he's almost like he knew it was coming. And honestly, maybe he did know it was coming. There could have been manager talks behind the scenes before it was announced. But I was surprised to hear like that level of like honesty. I would have expected, God, I hope not, especially from someone Bryan Battle. Like I've only have one loss in their organization. I've got a bunch of wins, good fights. I missed weight one time, my bad, but like you can't cut me for that. Come on, guys. But he was very much like, I hope not, and they might. We'll see what happens. It's like, damn. And then he even said, if I am cut, I'm not worried about it because I know I'm still one of the best fighters in the world and I'll be back. So it's like almost, I'm not the conspiracy guy. I don't really believe in conspiracies anywhere in life. So I do not think he's self-sabotaged here, but it's like, the timing was pretty crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is. I mean, like I said, you don't even know what he's thinking. I don't know. The promotion doesn't know what he's thinking. He's somebody that like things come out of his mouth and you're like, do you love it? Do you not love it? Like, or you have plans to go somewhere else? I mean, no one knows. With him, he is very talented. He has all the skills to come on back. But when you do interviews like that, it's almost like, yeah, I'll be back whenever I want. All I do is just win a couple fights. Ooh, UFC may be like, nah, we remember.
Let's find out.
Drive 4 pounds.
Let's find out.
Yeah, let's see. We have control of when you do come back, if you ever do come back.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen fighters just fall off into the abyss. Never heard from them again because they got let go and they thought they would come back and I'll be back. I'm going to win this and win this over there and over there. And nope. End up losing one fight somewhere else and gone. Just gone. Look at Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz is a huge name. They are not bringing him back.
Does he want to go back?
Yeah. Yeah. He's been itching for a fight to come back. He's been talking shit about Hamzat. He's been talking shit about everyone.
So why wouldn't they want him back? He's still a draw, no?
No, he is. I think he's
just too difficult.
The way that he left his contract the last time, they did him
he
a
did talk
solid.
A ton of shit on the way out.
They gave him the Tony Ferguson fight. They did him a solid. Like, hey, take this fight. Hamzat missed weight by 8 pounds. We'll go ahead and, we'll give you Tony. Submits Tony, leaves on a win. He's thinking he's all right. We're good. We're solid. I'm out of here. Still deuces. The whole I don't care. That's the Nate Diaz approach.
He lost to Jake Paul. Yeah,
he lost to Jake Paul. And the fact that Jake Paul and Dana have this thing going on where they're battling back and forth just on the social media platforms, and a little bit business wise, you're trying to crush my business. You're trying to tell people that I don't pay fighters enough. Which that we're doing another video right after this about that. But bottom
Hey,
line
they
is,
don't need to know that we film multiple at once, Josh.
oh, sorry, my bad.
We have to create the illusion that this is live.
Oh, do you want to cut that out?
No, I'm kidding.
Like how we have to retake your stuff every time you mess up in the beginning?
Nah, I'm
It's probably like
95%.
10,
I'm
15 times.
95% on the intros. 95 one take.
95?
It's probably higher.
Not
Honestly.
sure Connecticut has very good math.
Easy one take.
One take wonder. Look, I think that he's fun. He's entertaining. I want to see him back, but I think he's going to experiment out there, see exactly what the money is, see how difficult that sport is, and realizing that it's not going to be easy. So coming back, like bare knuckles, crazy too. So there's avenues for him to make money outside of this. It's just a matter of that you got to keep getting wins if you want to come back to the UFC. And lastly, the UFC for some people, once they've been there, it's not the end all be all. That's the thing. Everyone keeps believing that they have to be there. No, like most people are just after they've been there and they've been kind of ran through the ringer a little bit, or you can tell they're not getting favorable treatment, whatever it is. Like him being on the undercard is fucking wild to me. Like his fights are fun, they're entertaining.
And Nurzulton's very good. I was surprised he was so low too.
That's where I'm at. I'm like, okay, well, now what? Like it's like you keep putting me on the undercard, you're not giving me like main events, you're not even putting me as co-main events. I'm not getting any love in your promotions. You don't like me for some reason. I mean, like, did I bang your girlfriend? Like, did I
mean, he might be difficult as shit. I don't know, but he
might be difficult as shit. He might be.
Yeah, I don't know.
And for some fighters though, the UFC to them after they've had to deal with something like that, it's not the end all be all. We're like, okay, good. I'll try and find work somewhere else. Like, and I'll get paid a little bit more because I already have a name from the UFC. Bryan Battle is going to get paid probably a little bit more than he normally would at the UFC because
to do 75% of it.
Yes.
I mean, like there's no takedowns. The ground and pound is if you knock somebody down.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the striking piece. And then on the ground, you can throw some strikes.
Yeah.
No wrestling, no jiu-jitsu. It's easier.
A lot easier.
Yeah. It's
all right,
75% of it.
I wish him nothing but the best. I hope he gets a good win and keeps winning because I want him to cash out. I think I've heard that Dirty Boxing pays pretty well. I mean, I don't know what he was making in the UFC, but I hope he gets paid pretty well. And I don't know if there's a chance of bonuses. I don't know if you're getting flat rate. I mean, that's another thing. When you normally leave the UFC, you go to other organizations, they offer you more of like a flat rate or like an 80-20 split, not a 50-50 split. So most fighters were going to go that way because no matter what, they didn't train any less hard. Some people do. But most of them don't train less hard just because I'm getting an 80-20 split. Yeah. 50-50 is ridiculous. If I put the work in, I get in the cage, I should have at least a 70-30, somewhere in that mix. Yeah. And then give me a bonus if I get a finish. If I get a submission or a knockout or something like that, I should get a bonus. So if you want to go ahead and give me or if you're going to do 50-50, give me 50-50 and then give me a bonus on top of that if I get a finishing bonus. So there should be some sort of incentive for everyone that finishes fights.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with Bryan Battle. Dirty Boxing is this weekend. Honestly, we got nothing else on, so I might check it out. And I do like the concept because I'm not a big boxing traditionalist. Kind of slow for me at this point. So Dirty Boxing could be a ton of fun. Mike Perry, wild personality in his own right. They got Jairzinho Rosenstruck this weekend, so I'm gonna check that out and let us know if you think that Bryan Battle self-sabotaged to get out of his UFC contract. My name is Angelo. This is Josh Thompson, and that was Bad Takes.